All right, welcome to Troop Hoops Podcast. Today is going to be a little shorter. Just break down the draft and some early. It's still a long way to go left in the draft, but we didn't want to start it too late.
Yeah,
So
because most of the picks don't matter anymore.
I know most people were focused on the top 10 in the lottery. So, Sam, early winners for the draft tonight.
I would say the Minnesota Timberwolves because they got the player they wanted in Jimmy Butler regardless of the draft. So I think that it was the winner of today.
I would have to go with the Los Angeles Lakers. I think Lonzo Ball puts them in the direction of back to being what the Lakers are. They got a superstar. Maybe he's not a superstar in terms of points and assists, but he brings the commerce to LA. He brings the star power in his name and big baller brand. So I love what the Lakers did. Also Philadelphia, I mean, they're clear winners. Well, who would you say is a loser so far?
I'll probably say the Orlando Magic. Yeah. I feel like they needed a point guard in this draft, and projecting from the future, I don't think there'll be any good point guards for the foreseeable future. So I feel like this was the time that they could have restarted and went another direction besides Elfrid Payton. And instead, they got another player kind of like Eric Gordon, but I don't know how well he can pan out under their head coach. So I would say the Orlando Magic.
I would say the Chicago Bulls are losers. Nah, I'll take that back. I'm going with the Detroit Pistons. I mean, I just don't see how you draft Luke Kennard. I don't get it. I don't get it, man. I'm sorry. I don't get the pick at all. That's probably the worst pick I've seen in the last since I've been doing this. That's terrible. Sam Van Gundy needs to be fired immediately. Sam Van Gundy. Somebody, please. The Pistons got a brand new, beautiful stadium downtown. We draft Luke Kennard. They're going to be another average team picking 11th or 12th next year, which is hopefully in one of the best drafts in recent memory. We pick 12 and get Luke Kennard. So that's probably my loser.
So we can just start from the first pick and dive into each pick and then stop it wherever you want to stop.
All right.
So I'll let you go first.
All right. First, Markelle Fultz to the 76ers. I thought that was a great pickup. Like I said, I really think Boston dropped the ball there by trading away that pick and betting on Isaiah Thomas for the future. I thought they should have got Markelle Fultz and traded Isaiah Thomas and went from there. Because, to be honest, the Cavaliers are going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals next year, barring if the Celtics don't get Paul George and Gordon Hayward, which I don't think they will. So you can mark there will be a fourth championship battle between the Cleveland Cavaliers and Golden State Warriors. So what Philadelphia did, they're building for a future beyond LeBron James. They have the great pieces, and they are the front runners in the East right now to challenge LeBron James when he is reaching the end of his career. So I love Markelle Fultz. He's he can play on the ball, off the ball. Ben Simmons can control the offense for the most part, and I just love it.
All right. I think you did a good job with that, so we can just move on to the second pick. So the Los Angeles Lakers selected Lonzo Ball. I think this is a great pick because now since they moved on from D'Angelo Russell, they found their point guard of the future. So now they have the foundational piece with him and Brandon Ingram and in hopes of getting Paul George. So they have their backcourt all together and now they just have to worry about their future and how it all works together.
Yeah, if I was at anything, the only concern with Lonzo Ball is he won't be a great isolation scorer. So teams like to switch a lot nowadays, and Lonzo Ball will be virtually ineffective when teams switch because he can't get past anybody. He don't have insane ball handling skills, and he's not a great shot creator or maker, so he's going to have a tough time when teams switch off the pick and roll. So the pick and roll is a big part of today's game, and I don't know how good Lonzo will be in a pick and roll. So I think he's more of an open court transition type player. I think he'll push the ball off misses. But, like, you did a pretty good job, so we can move on to the Boston Celtics. Like I said, they picked Jason Tatum, which, according to Boston, looking at what the moves Boston has made in the last couple of years, they are trying to compete now, which I think is a huge mistake because Cleveland they're going to beat them. So I think you prepare for the future, sort of like what 76ers are doing. So I thought they should have traded Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas is really not a championship player. And Jason Tatum, while he's good, he's going to produce next year. He's not better than Josh Jackson. You had an opportunity to select Josh Jackson, but you selected Jason Tatum. They've been saying that Jason Tatum is a better defender than advertised, but I don't buy it. And I don't think he has any interest in playing defense. Because Duke struggled a lot this year, and I thought that was a large part of it. They couldn't play good defense. So I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
No, that was great. We can move on to the fourth pick. So the Phoenix Suns selected Josh Jackson. I think this is probably an amazing pick for Phoenix Suns. This will probably would have been my winner if not for the Minnesota Timberwolves. So now you have your shooting guard of the future. Now you match that with your small forward of the future in Josh Jackson. So now you have the two most important pieces besides the point guard to go into your future with. And so now their potential starting lineup would be Eric Bledsoe, Devin Booker, Josh Jackson, Marquise Chris, and Tyson Chandler. So that's not a bad starting lineup just for the right now. And of course, they probably still want to be in the driver's seat for another draft pick next year. So I think that's a great foundation. So
yeah, hopefully Phoenix suck again next year so they can get a really good position. I mean, I think the top 5 of the draft next year is gonna we could do that after. But I think Sam hit everything on the head. I love Josh Jackson. I think he's gonna be the best player in the draft. So. Yeah, and he's a Detroit product, so shout out to Josh Jackson for doing this thing. With the 5th pick, Orlando picked Jonathan Isaac. I mean, I don't know. They already got a 4-man in Gordon. Jonathan Isaac, he's not somebody you build around. I thought he would have been a great addition to a team already with pieces in play. So Orlando will be picking in the top 5 next year.
Guaranteed.
Elfrid Payton, he's not the point guard of the future. I love Jonathan Isaac as a player, but like I said, he's a player that gets you over the hump. He's not a player that gets you to the party. He gets you in. He don't get you to the party. But he can shoot. He's a great off-the-ball shooter. He don't need the ball 24/7. His defensive versatility is great. So, I mean, he's similar to Draymond Green, but he's just not the playmaker. He can develop into that playmaker, but I don't love the pick because he doesn't move the needle for Orlando Magic at all.
Yeah. So, all right. The next pick is.
Oh, I'm sorry. The 5th pick was the Sacramento Kings.
All right.
I'm really sorry. I'm just upset right now because the Pistons selected Luke Kennard. If I'm not on the podcast today, that's why. Because the Pistons fired Stan Van Gundy.
Yeah. So Sacramento Kings drafted De'Aaron Fox with the 5th pick. I think this is a great pick. Just kind of like piggybacking off the Phoenix Suns, you add another foundational piece. So now your potential starting lineup is De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield, and we'll talk about their future pick in a couple picks if we get to that. And just so basically their future pick will be Justin Jackson. Next player will be.
You all right, man?
Yeah, I'm just laughing about earlier, but the next pick will be Scalabrine. Next player will be Scalabrine, and They're
I don't know what's
wrong.
Willie.
They should be Willie Cauley style. It's like you can go.
Oh man, Sam is killing me today. But so seventh pick of the draft is the New York Knicks. They drafted Frank. I thought that was a great pick. I don't know much about Frank Nikita because he played overseas, but I know he's a good 3-point shooter. He's long. He could play defense. He's athletic. I think he'll turn out to be a good pick. I think Phil Jackson's getting a bad rap. He has done a good job drafting. People thought Kristaps was a bad pick. That turned out to be good. So Frank Nikita, I think that's a good draft pick. With the eighth pick, who picked eighth?
Who picked eighth? Wait, are we skipping the seventh pick, or you already talked about it?
Oh man, the Knicks picked eighth. Seventh was the Chicago Bulls. I thought they did a terrible job. I thought giving up Jimmy Butler for basically Zach LaVine, Chris Dunn, and Lauri Markkanen. I thought that was terrible. I don't see that. Zach LaVine's coming off an ACL injury, so we don't know if he can ever return to the player he was. Chris Dunn is unproven. He had a terrible season last year. And Lauri Markkanen, guys. So that's terrible. They would have been I wanted to pick them as my losers. They could have got way more for Jimmy Butler. I feel like Boston would have gave up a little bit more. Because at that point in the draft, everybody pretty much was gone. So I feel like Boston would have gave them something better. I already did the eighth pick, the New York Knicks. Like I said, Frank Nikita, he's a great player. I think he's going to be good. Ninth pick, Sam, go ahead, Dallas Mavericks.
Dallas Mavericks. All right, Dallas Mavericks select Dennis Smith. So going into the off season, I thought maybe that they were going to go forward with Steph Curry as their point guard for the future, but clearly they had other plans. So drafting Dennis Smith, that gives them a potential player like Derrick Rose, but with a possible jump shot. So that I would say that's his ceiling. It's pretty high, but yeah, he had 2 ACL injuries already, so I will watch out for that. But besides that, they have 2 foundational pieces now. They have Dennis Smith at point guard. Now they have Nerlens Noel at the 5. So now they're a few pieces away from being a potential 8th seed.
All right, so with the 10th pick of the draft, the Sacramento Kings traded it to Portland, and they got Zach Collins. I thought that was another terrible move. They just drafted for a center last year from what's the center they drafted? They traded for with the Nuggets.
Mason Plumlee.
No, they didn't trade for me. They traded for somebody else.
Oh, it's not
Jokic.
Mirotic. Yeah.
Jokic. They didn't trade for
Jokic.
Yeah. Okay. Well, they just traded for him last year. I thought he played pretty well. I just got a report that the Celtics refused to offer the number 3 pick for Jimmy Butler. I think that was a big mistake, but whatever.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I guess the Bulls got as best they could for Jimmy Butler. But anyway, so they drafted Zach Collins. I mean, I'm not a Zach Collins guy outside. He has some good block shots in the NCAA tournament, but other than that, I don't know what the kid does really well. I mean, he's a good defender. I don't think it's a great pick at all. I think we're going to look back on that, like what were the Portland Trailblazers thinking. To trade up with the 15th and 20th pick, I thought that was bad. So I don't know if you have anything to say about that.
Nah, you're good. So the next pick, who's the next pick?
Malik Monk, Charlotte.
Malik Monk, Charlotte. All right. I think Charlotte, they were in a bad spot to begin with, so I don't think they really had a choice besides drafting Malik Monk. So upside-wise for Malik Monk, he has a great chance to be a Jamal Crawford, a 6-man and come off the bench. So I could see him winning multiple 6-man of the year awards. So, I mean, I feel like that's a positive for Charlotte.
Yeah, so with the 12th pick, the Pistons select Luke Kennard. I thought that was a terrible pick. fire Stan Van Gundy.
Yeah, we don't even have to talk about it anymore. We can just move on to the next pick.
Yeah, that's terrible. The 13th pick, the Nuggets traded with somebody. Who did the Nuggets trade with?
They traded with
the Utah. Utah selected Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell's a little undersized at 6'3", but he has a 6'10" wingspan, so whatever he lacks in height, he definitely makes up for in wingspan. He can shoot the three. He's athletic. So, I mean, Alec Burks, he's often injured. I like Alec Burks, but I think Donovan Mitchell is a upgrade of position. Even if he isn't an upgrade, he can provide great backup minutes. I think that's a decent pick for Utah, a playoff team. So they're trying to do anything they can to entice Gordon Hayward to come back, which I don't think he will, but I think they're doing the best they can. So with the 14th pick in the draft, I'm kind of blanking. Who's the 14th pick?
Let me look on.
Oh, they got a Pistons commercial going on right now showing a Little Caesars Arena. You see it?
Nope. Who we get 14? Who's 14?
They actually making Detroit look pretty nice.
NBA draft. All right. With the 14th pick. Oh man.
The Miami Heat selected Bam Bam Adebayo.
Yep.
I mean, I like Adebayo. I don't know what he really brings to the Miami Heat. They already have to sign Whiteside. I'm thinking they're going to play him at the 4, so he can shoot better than a lot of people expected. I think he could be a sleeper because I think he has the potential to become a Draymond Green type player at the 4. I think he could develop into being a pretty good three-point shooter. I like his mid-range stroke. I don't know how well he can guard, but that remains to be seen. If he can guard guards, I think that would be a pretty good pickup. The only question is, can he create off the pick and roll? If somebody, if they trap the point guard, can he be a playmaker in the mode of Draymond Green? I don't know. He don't look as mobile as Draymond Green. Sort of like Tristan Thompson. When they trap Kyrie Irving off the pick and roll, Tristan Thompson looks robotic. He don't look like he can make up his mind. So I think Bam. I think that's a great pickup. I like it. What about you?
Yeah. It's cool. I think Bam Adebayo gives them another center off the bench that gives them the same pick and roll actions that Hassan Whiteside is dangerous for. So I feel like in that way that it was a great draft pick.
So Harry Giles just got selected to the Sacramento Kings. We could stop there in the lottery. I think that pretty much does a good job of like summing up what each team did and what each team got. So we said we was gonna keep it short. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Hopefully tomorrow we can have some more insight on what actually happened. But
yeah, hopefully there's better action going on.
Yeah. So thanks for watching. That's a wrap.
Yeah. Take care.